By far one of the best Jurassic World series and one of the best things I think the Jurassic Park franchise has ever produced here. Camp Cretaceous is honestly one of my favorite series in this new generation here. And then it just keep getting better and better. And then you had Chaos Theory, which had that fear factor, that drama, that perfect anxiety level horror. But today we're gonna add a creature that, in all honesty, I wonder how it would go if he was in there both in a narrative sense and if he could solo it. We're talking about Rudy from Ice Age, this super oversized baryonyx, bigger than a freaking Argentinosaurus, and it would actually be crazy, right? So, what if Rudy was in Chaos Theory, right? Let's actually talk about it here. Now, this won't be a series, just as me just kind of speculating on how it would go here. Now, the way I would actually have Rudy introduced into the series here would be if Darius found him as an egg. Imagine in the same lab where E750 or the Scorpius Rex was, they had to hide from Toro, and Darius gets separated from the group here, and they hide in one part of the underground facility, and then Darius hides in another, and he turns around and sees a egg called Project Rudy. And so Darius takes the egg, not wanting to leave it there, and, well, wonders what kind of dinosaur it is. And so after a while, it hatches into a baby albino baryonyx. And at first, it's cute, it's sweet, and everything here. And it bonds to Darius here. But as it get older, Darius kind of sees it starts to get a little bit more vicious. It starts to get a little bit more aggressive here. And so Darius needs to find a way to work out that aggression. He needs to find a way to, I guess you can honestly say, benefit the group here. And considering how strong Rudy is in general in the Ice Age franchise, being around the city block levels and stuff here, this means that, in all honesty, Darius could have a potential strong in a potential super baryonyx here. And I actually think Darius will go back to the lab, and Rudy would be just right behind him. He'd be loyal, he'd be dedicated to Darius as kind of like a surrogate father, kind of like Godzilla the series, or Zilla Jr. from Godzilla the series, excuse me. And in all honesty, I think I would have it just like that. He follows Darius. He protects Darius from everything here. And considering the size of most baryonyxes here, and considering the Jurassic World franchise has their baryonyx about 2.5 meters tall, and again, that is at the hip here, I would actually say Rudy is a bit bigger than that here. I would say he's around the size of the Spinosaurus when he gets to that delta age here, meaning that he's a very, very rare breed for the baryonyx here. And in all honesty, I think even his own kind would see him as some sort of abomination, if you will, here. I mean, you have Chaos, Limbo, and Grim here, where they would honestly be afraid of Rudy. And I actually think that they would kind of just run on sight from him there and not even deal with him. It's very possible that Rudy even marks his territory around the Camp Cretaceous area, and there might be even some type of, I guess you could say some conflicts with Bumpy. Because again, Rudy is a carnivore. And so it would be kind of like a rift between Ben and Darius here, where, neither one of these creatures will hurt their significant other or their parents and stuff there. And then you have the sheer fact that, again, they still have that natural, I guess you could say connection here. Now, in some interactions, I could definitely see Rudy, beating up a lot of the monsters here. And side note, or sorry, not monsters, dinosaurs. And side note here, can we talk about how Toro was actually pretty tragic for a Carnotaurus? Now, I understand he was isolated because for some reason he was just massively aggressive, even towards his own species here. Kind of like the big one in a way. But again, it's the sheer fact that he kept getting hurt, burned, scorched, and even, well, attacked here, which again is unfortunate. And the funny part about it is, considering Rudy should be like a above average baryonyx, This means he would follow them to Manticore Island in season 2. This means that we would definitely see Rudy fight against the Spinosaurus and, well, likely win in that situation here. And then, in all honesty, him following them off the island and definitely probably reuniting with Darius as, everyone finally gets to go home here. However, you just kind of see like Rudy pop up out the water and he's just looking at Darius like, you thought I wasn't just going to follow you out here? Like, what? Daddy, where you going? So, in all honesty, I think he'd be a good addition to the team here. And again, he would kind of fulfill the role of like Zilla Jr. And I don't think a lot of fans would mind that, just having a Baryonyx, this super enhanced Baryonyx here, just going around fighting things like the Suchomimus, the Majungasaurus. And well, it's very possible he would pick up his own diet of fish and maybe, have Darius feed him. I think it will also be pretty cute if you have like you go to Darius's house here and he just has like a dugout moat in the back here just to kind of house Rudy in a way. And then, he has to like feed Rudy like tons of fish just to kind of like satisfy and feed him here. And again, I think Rudy would actually be pretty interesting, especially for like some fear factor parts here. Like imagine in the African scene where they don't know if Rudy's following them here, but just like in the savannah, sorry, voice crack, yeah. But just like in the savannah, imagine if he, followed Rudy, or if Rudy followed them there, right? And then you just see like these piercing, glowing red eyes here. And then all of a sudden, they just stand up and get bigger. Everyone's scared. And then Rudy just pops his head up like, hi, Dad. How you doing? Just starts giving Darius all these kisses and stuff here. And this just kind of like gives them a heart attack for a moment. But they're like, oh my God. Oh, like, dude, you got to get that under control. And I actually think it would be interesting for him to meet the what's it called, the lutistic or the blind baryonyx, if you will. And in all honesty, I could see him probably finding a way to not only communicate with the baryonyx, but have it, drag out. Have it be rescued by him, and then he kind of bonds with it. We could probably say it's a female here. And they both kind of form this bond together, and well, they just get another member. It could definitely be like a much more happier ending to Godzilla the series here. I definitely think there would definitely be some fights here, like the Atrociraptors. I would definitely have it fight the Allosaurus as well, and it can even help Big Edie again. I think that would be pretty interesting, and maybe help Big Edie find her daughter, reunite them, and then he just follows Darius and the rest of them on the boat. He saves Kenji from drowning instead of Kenji, jumping in there. And again, with Dr. Diddy and the Leucistic Baryonyx, yeah, that would actually be a pretty interesting thing. He's able to help the Baryonyx or the blind Baryonyx out. Eventually, they do mate and they have their, own kids and stuff here. And, well, that just kind of goes in with it. I mean, sure, I know there are hunters, there are poachers, and dino wranglers and stuff like that there, but it's very possible that, Rudy would still be able to find his way back to Darius. Now, obviously, there would be some key fights here, like the Scorpius Rex. I can definitely see a moment where Rudy's simply away from the campsite when the Scorpius Rex is attacking, but as he's trying to find fish or something else to eat other than ankylosaurs or Bumpy, he just gets a scent of fresh parasaur blood, and then he just like runs to it, realizing how close it is to the camp here. This is where he would definitely find the Scorpius Rex and fight it, and then I think he would just kill it. I mean, the only way the Scorpius Rex is even getting, a win over that is if you have him get pierced by one of the spines here, and then he just passes out from it. But even then, the Scorpius Rex would probably get mauled here, just depending on how enhanced Rudy is here. And considering the fact that I am having Rudy just being a bit bigger than the Baryonyx, or just on around the same size as the Spinosaurus here, which means Rudy would have no choice but to be an enhanced Baryonyx, because again, I could definitely see him being like slightly hybridized. And in all honesty, I think Rudy would probably have like his own genetics plus the Spinosaurus genetics, and then maybe some like I'd probably say maybe on the lines of Sarcosuchus and maybe other, what is it called? Sorosuchians like Barinosuchus, Fasolosuchus. Kind of just add those in there just to kind of give it that more armored or more crocodilian factor. Basically, he's a hybridized Baryonyx, probably just a bit more balanced and aggressive like the Spinosaurus. So technically, he's enhanced in a way, but enhanced with some hybridism or hybridization, excuse me. So with that being said here, you guys, I think that really does it here. Oh, but I guess I could talk about this a little bit here with the Indominus Rex or even in the Spinosaurus interaction here. I definitely think Rudy, wandering with them, possibly busting through a lot of the facilities, would definitely get Cash's attention. And I could see a situation where he's the one to kill Cash in a Indominus Rex like fashion, where Cash realizes that he doesn't have control over Rudy anymore, and then you just see like Rudy open those like glowing red eyes around him, and then just clamps his jaws around him and then just eats him. Now, sure, again, that would be kind of frightening here, but understandably, Rudy is still a dinosaur at the end of the day. They're just lucky he is a loyal dinosaur. Now, against something like the Spinosaurus, I could definitely see him, helping out Big Edie and maybe even Little Edie, maybe even having a sort of like friendship with Little Edie. Kind of like I guess you could say like an older brother type of dynamic to Little Edie there. And then earlier in seasons, would I have him? Well, he wouldn't grow fast enough to really combat the Indominus Rex here, but I think I would have the Indominus Rex possibly be alive a bit longer so it could fight an adult Rudy, or I would just have it have a showing against Rexy to where it proves that it's stronger, but it doesn't kill Rexy. It just wants to get the kids out of there. And in all honesty, I think that could actually, work out in some ways here. Rexy is, trying to sniff out Darius and Sammy, and then you have a moment where Rudy kind of just pops in to distract her for a bit, but it just simply like tail whips her and knocks her down, allowing Darius and Sam to just run away. And so he kind of just like runs after them. So in all honesty, I think that's how I would do it. I think Rudy would definitely be a very good addition to have for any billionaire. So they'll be trying to sell him or trying to capture him. But again, it's either Rudy's too tough or Darius gets there just in time to save him. And again, there's also the sheer fact that he would be a hybridized baryonyx. So that would have him some enhanced strength and some toughness that the others wouldn't even be able to handle. So, yeah, I think that's about it here, you guys. I think Rudy would be a wonderful addition to Camp Cretaceous. I definitely think having Darius raise him is a much more interesting move than having somebody else there. Because, again, yeah, we could replace him with Bumpy and stuff there. But, again, I wanted a creature that would definitely follow Darius in that way and just try to protect them from any dinosaur they come across. Yeah, some dinosaurs are dying, and they are gonna have to get used to having a carnivore on their side here. But it kind of is what it is here. But hey, that's gonna be all today, you guys, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.